Well, good morning. This is April 10th. A few days have passed. I've been gradually doing something, not every day, but maybe every other day on this car, getting it back on the road. So let's review what we've done so far in our book here. So we purchased around 325, 270 miles showing on the odometer. I know that's not the original miles of the car, but when the I know the speedometer was supposed to be rebuilt, and so it only ran 270 miles until, and then I assume what happened was that cable we found came out, and there it's set, but it's now fixed. And so we have changed the oil, 7 quarts 20W50 high zinc. We changed and cleaned that really neat oil filter that I described to you. It's a Moly OX42. It's a small one. You have to make sure it's a small one, not the larger one, which would go in a W180. Greased all 23 Zerk fittings, lubricated and adjusted and released parking brake cables, lubricated and released hood release lock, changed differential oil with W180 hypoid, cleaned and inspected the brakes. So the wheels look really good. What we have left to do on the brakes is replace that master cylinder and maybe replace the flex hoses. Here's 2 of them right here that have come in the mail so far, and I've got 2 more coming in. Oh, here's the flex disc that came in, brand new. So I'll have to decide if I want to go ahead and put this in or not. I'll just have to see how the car behaves. You saw the tear on the flex disc underneath there, but now I have this, which is nice. And you see it's a genuine Mercedes part. It almost looks like an NOS part, but that's lovely. And oh, that came from HMC, where this came from. And then what else we got here? Fixed speedometer cable. Now what we're going to do is change the transmission fluid using Valvoline Max Life Dexron 3. Now, all my reading and everything says that this transmission, like the W108s and the 123 manual transmissions, take automatic transmission fluid of the Dexron 3 variety or equivalent. And that's because these transmissions have such close clearances, especially in the synchronizers, that the transmission fluid works better than oil, and or at least motor oil. And that's so different for me because I'm so used to using motor oil in my MGs in the transmission. So let's put this thing up and start draining. First thing I'm going to do is undo that fill plug, and then we'll undo the drain plug here. So let's get set up for that. So I've been loosening this, so I want to catch it in this pan before I let it drain down here so I can look at the condition of this oil. Ooh, look at that. That's definitely motor oil. Give it a little shot of brake cleaning fluid here. And we'll wipe it down. That explains the motor oil back here because it's in the transmission. Okay. I bought a special syringe that has 8-ounce capacity to fill this thing back up with proper fluid. Yeah, this is what I drained out of the car. Yeah, put some more light on it. It certainly is dark and ugly looking. It's probably, God knows how many years it's been in there. I don't know, 20 years? It's hard to say. Okay, so I got a good look at it, and I'll let it drain into this container here. But first, let me show you the contraption I got to transfer the transmission fluid, the new fluid, into the transmission case. It's a big, huge syringe. It's 230 cc's, so that will transfer a lot at one time. I just put it together. It has these other pieces with it too, and spare O-rings right there in the package. And so let's just see how this thing works out. First time using it. Well, here's the transmission fluid in this device. Certainly looks nicer than what came out. So let's go ahead and put this up in there. There it goes. All right, now let's go ahead and pump this in there. We'll do this one syringe and go back and get another refill. And we'll keep doing this till it's full. Here's a full gallon automatic transmission. Here's the one I pulled out of to put in the transmission. This side of the graduation is in liters, and you see this one's full. This one over here is how much I've used. The next thing we're going to do is adjust the valves. First thing in getting ready to adjust the valves is I'm going to pull each of these spark plugs out and number them 1 through 6. That will relieve the compression in there, so it'd be easier to turn the engine over. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take the air cleaner off of these Webers by undoing the screws back in there that will release the air cleaner. All spark plug wires are now numbered in order. I've noticed that this one right here, well, I tell you what, I'm discovering some jury rigging on this car. I'll just have to look at that and make these things match up. These are all correct. I might, these are correct. This is not, right here. I might just buy a whole new wire set for this car. I don't know. I mean, it seems to be running, but okay. But I don't like that. It's not how it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead and continue what we're doing. So next thing to do is pull all these spark plugs, wires off the spark plugs. Number one spark plug required a joint on this thing so I can get it off. But there we go. But they're not. That one at least was not very tight, which is nice. Made it easy to get off. Alright. I'll clean and gap these things too. Whoa, look at that. Look at how dirty that is. Oh man. That's just from not running, just starting a little bit and moving it a few feet and that kind of stuff. But we'll clean these up. There we go. These things are not overly torqued, which is nice. This is what this one looks like when it comes out. Yeah, same blackness, burning rich. Okay. Alright, number 3. Hope it comes out as easy as the others. And it does. Very good. There we go. Another nice sooty dark plug. These are all the same, and they're I just noticed these are all the same, and they are Autolite, which is alright. I mean, Same deal. Having these flexible fittings on these spark plug removing tools, very nice, especially for number 1 and number 6. Yeah, see, so far all of them have been black, so is that one. Alright, while we're at it, let's just take it over to the bench and clean them up and gap them. Okay, so here they are, nice and dirty. Let's clean them up. See, they're coming along all right. Okay, looking at technical specifications for this car. Here's spark plug gap right here, 0.027, and you know, and you have a range here for a non-resistor and then resistor electrode gap of 0.027 to 0.035 of an inch. And I know if it has electronic ignition, such as Protronics or whatever, you can get away with a bigger gap. But I'm going to stick with the 0.027 on this, or thereabouts, and we'll go ahead and gap these plugs up accordingly. Spark plugs are now clean and appropriately gapped. Now let's take that air cleaner off of the carburetors. Okay, here's the front one. Oh man. Oh, that's on there tight. Look at this. That screw back in there. This is the one right here I'm trying to get. That one is so tight. I couldn't get it off with a screwdriver in the normal way. And a socket will not reach back there. So I had to rig up a crescent wrench on the screwdriver on the square shank, and it worked really well. There we go. Boy, that thing was really tight, but that got it. We'll back this out some. Now, the other one's way over here. Now, tighten this. Okay, now make sure just hold it in there and unslip. There we go. And it's loose. Yay! Alright. Here it comes. I was hoping this right here would just pull out. Just, there we go. Yes, it did. And there's your 2-barrel electric choke Webers. I'm going to get this over here on the bench so we can look at this air cleaner. It's very heavy. All right, a moment of discovery. Inside this air filter here. I'm just curious. I've read about these things. I'm prepared to see something I've never seen before. Okay, here it comes, the top cover. Oh wow. That's really interesting. Let's just set this over here. This is a, look at this. So you clean this out. It's all in German. So you know that's the real deal. What it looks like, according to this picture here, that's compressed air, I'm almost sure, and you and you take this out and clean it from there. It's just, I'll have to, this is going to be a two-hand operation here. I've turned the air filter upside down. See, here's the air intake horn, and here's where it connects to the carburetors. And it has this really heavy-duty screen in there. Interesting. So I assume that filter apparatus just pulls out. I think it's just held in there by friction. Let's see. Well, it is indeed held in there by friction. I had to really do a lot of pulling, and here out it comes. Got this rubber seal that fits over this right here. That rubber seal goes over this. Look at that. That's really cool, really well made. And then you blow out the inside of this. Well, while I've got it out, I might as well, because who knows how old this is. And I don't know how often you're supposed to. I can't read that German. I'll have to. It's a micro star kept. Really neat. So I'll go ahead and blow it out from the inside out like it says. And I'll have to read about how often you change these. I assume they're still available. Let's go. I'll go ahead and do that with air compressor. I blew it out with compressed air according to these instructions here, and nothing came out. I'm not surprised, given this thing's probably only has 207 miles on it, if that many. But it's been sitting in the car for a long time. I just think it's so amazing the way that's constructed. All right, I'll put it back together and set it aside. The next thing is to remove these 1, 2, 3 13mm nuts. I should say bolts that hold this lovely heavy-duty valve cover on. So let's just see how these come off. No, that's nice. They're supposed to be on not very tight. Well, maybe tighter than that. Let's just see. So let's see if I can reach over here. Okay, here it comes. There's that one. And I'm going to lose these little washers in here. There's 2 of them. Okay. I'll clean those up. See? I'll put it right over here for the time being, but okay, that is already loose. It has 2 washers on it as well. Again, I'll clean these up. This one needs to be loosened. I remember on the 108, the 280 SE, the 6-cylinder, M130 engine, these are like 10 foot-pounds. Okay, I'm going to get a rubber hammer and just kind of hit the side of this and see if I can't just knock it loose. Okay, now what we're going to do is take this vacuum hose off to the distributor. Kind of pull it off here and get it out of the way. There we go. Let's kind of throw it over there, over the carburetor. Let's see about hitting the side of this to kind of loosen it up. Let's see. Just a slight tap with a rubber mallet. Remove the valve cover, and we are met with this pleasant surprise. I thought, given the state of the oil that I drained out, that this would all be covered in gunk, but it's not. It's very clean looking. And look at these lobes here, and they're not scarred. For the cam. Very good. So now we're going to commence our valve clearance measurements and this timing chain and the guide here. Looks very nice. Teeth, it's not loose. Very good. So I'm gonna find what I need to turn this engine over, and then we'll start adjusting these valves. Now, this thing is very different from the 108s in that in the 108s you do your clearance off the rocker here and the low part of the lobe here in this cam, but on these Pontons you don't. You adjust off of the valve right here. I'll show you how that occurs. All right, let's get ourselves set up here. Before we get started, look at that trash down underneath that rear Weber carburetor. That looks like old hood cushion material, hood pad material. So I'm going to loosen that up and vacuum it out before I do anything else in here along this line. See, it's nothing sitting here. See, it's down in there. Now what I've done is I've rotated the engine clockwise to where the notch on the compensating washer here on this chain, right there. There, see it? Yep. I've rotated the engine until these two timing marks are lined up. And then I check down here. I'll show you the light. Move the light here. And I check timing mark, and it's less than 1 degree. So my chain is good. It's not stretched. If it was around 5 degrees, then I would definitely want to replace it. The guide here looks very good. Everything here looks nice. Okay. The next thing I want to do is check the torque on the head bolts at 60 foot-pounds per square inch. So we'll start with this one. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and kind of do it like that with this 10 millimeter at 60 foot-pounds. So we'll go ahead and do this. So far, the ones I've leaned into are not loose. They're good and tight. Let's do this one over here. Go over here and do these. You have to reach all the way over the length of this engine. Okay. Over here. Last two way over here and get in there. Here we go. Okay, and these last two back here in the front. And then this one. That one was a little loose, that one I just did. Okay, so they're all tightened.